Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine, where we bring you the latest events taking place around the nation. Let's go find out more about the episode.
The Ministers of Culture and Tourism and Antiquities attend the closing ceremony of the Aswan International Festival for Culture and Arts. The festivity of the sun perpendicular on the face of the Ramses II, held at Abu Simbel Temple in the presence of 15,000 spectators in 13 cultural sites, with the participation of 18 troops from 7 Arab and foreign countries. Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abdeldaim and the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Dr. Khalid Al-Anani, as well as the Major General Ashraf Atiyah, the Governor of Aswan, and a number of ambassadors of Arab and foreign countries witnessed the closing of the activities of the 9th edition of the Aswan International Festival for Culture and Arts. The activities took place in front of the Abu Simbel Temple to celebrate the sun's perpendicularity on the face of the statue of King Ramses II. Then they moved to the market square in Aswan. Head of the General Authority of Cultural Palaces, artist Hisham Atwa, added that the festival presents its activities in 13 villages and centers in Aswan Governorate, and it was attended by some 15,000 viewers, Egyptians and foreigners. The official indicated that this year's edition was held in cooperation with the Foreign Cultural Relations Sector headed by Sabri Saeed. This comes in addition to that the festival this year witnessed the participation of 18 troops from 7 Arab and foreign countries, namely Palestine, Sudan, Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Mexico, Poland, and Greece. And from Egypt, many bodies took part in this distinguished cultural event, including the folklore troupe affiliated to the General Authority of Cultural Palaces from Aswan, Sohag, Minya, Port Said, Arish, Sharqiya, Horeya in Alexandria, Matruh for folk arts, and the Toshka and Shalatin spontaneous troupe, in addition to the first participation of the Rida folklore troupe and the National Folklore Troupe of the Artistic House of Folk and Performing Arts. The Faculty of Applied Arts, Helwan University, recently organized the 5th Heritage Forum for Handicrafts. The forum, Our Roots and Traditions, was held under the auspices of Dr. Mamdouh Mahdi, acting president of the Helwan University, in the presence of Dr. Fouad Ata and the vice president of Graduate Studies and Research. Dean of the Faculty of Applied Arts, Dr. Maysoon Qutb, explained that the forum includes live performances by artisans of a group of folk crafts that consist of rugs, Arab calligraphy, jewelry, arabesque, khayamiya, carpets, pottery, stained glass, engraving, and copper, and lanterns of copper engravings. The activities also include a symposium on the preservation of intangible cultural heritage, a symposium on the arts of arabesque heritage and creativity. The workshops included wood carving, copper, and brass ornaments, painting on papyrus, as well as exhibition pavilions for faculty, staff, graduates, and students. In addition to musical performances that included the Tanura Ensemble, the Folk Instrument Ensemble, and the Farmer Singing Ensemble.
The Cairo Opera House has always been a cultural hub that attracts people from around the nation to find out more about the arts. Let's find out what our Cairo Opera House has in store for us.
Mina Gabriel is currently considered one of the best flutists and musicians of the new generation, an international renowned soloist, and highly appreciated for his generosity and charisma on stage, performing with great sensitivity of his playing and the richness of his sounds. This international Egyptian flutist has won several prizes, including the Nice Flute Competition, the International Flute Convention, and the Egyptian Supreme Cultural Council Competition.
It's a shortcut about all styles. I started from Baroque to contemporary, passing by flute beatboxing, some composition, and 5 dedicated pieces written especially for me by Egyptian composers like Ramses Abrisami. He's a fantastic symphonic composer. Ibrahim Shamil, Egyptian composer. Bassam Halaka, Egyptian Austrian composer. And some of my composition, as well as some improvisation as well. And it wasn't actually, not a conference, but I used to talk about each piece to explain a little bit, especially contemporary music, because we need a guide, we need to have this relation. And I did my best to play by heart, from heart to heart. I love the word actually in Arabic, French, and English, by heart, which is mean en zahr qalb or par cœur. Voilà, du coup, there is a link, a real link between the artist and the audience. It's not just giving a lot of information without having this relationship. Yeah. I used to play with Cairo Symphony Orchestra as well as many European orchestras all over. This is my career as an international soloist, so I used to play with orchestras, as you said, and many projects with composer. I love creation. I love doing new stuff and make our program much bigger. This is what I really love, actually. Yeah. Actually, this time because I'm here in short vacation, I haven't time to repeat with anyone. It's very difficult. I would love to play with a pianist or harpist or some chamber music stuff, but it was a short vacation, and that's the reason why I started this solo program. 1 hour, it's hard to handle. It's not easy, and you have, as we say in French, beaucoup de casquettes. We change the profile each time, from baroque to contemporary to classic, romantic, and it's not that easy. You are alone, and yeah. But I love playing with chamber music, with chamber orchestras. I love playing with symphony orchestra, and that's the reason why I gave the Egyptian premiere for Carl Nielsen flute concerto with Peter Larsen, the Danish conductor and composer as well. He composed. He's about to write something for me, by the way. And yeah, I performed Jacques Ibert. I performed with Cairo Symphony of Mozart in G major. Between the flutist and the flute, there is nothing. There is a small, thin line of air produce the sound. That's the reason why we use the flute in ancient civilization, in magic liturgy, and religious liturgy as well. Because it's magic, how flute produces sound. You can't see it. Nothing in your mouth. There is no reeds. It's not like clarinet or oboe, or excuse me for all oboists and clarinetists, but for flute you have this freedom. Between you and the instrument, you are like a singer. It's the closest technique to singing. Yeah.
Mina Gabriel has performed on the most important international stages such as the Wiener Konzerthaus, Albert Hall, Barbican Hall, Victoria Hall, KKL, Opéra de Marseille, the Cairo Opera House, and Abu Dhabi Theatre, among others.
I really liked it. There were quite different songs, all of them, and yeah, I liked the ones that were sort of original to me. The ones that yeah, had some humming and vocal sounds in it. I really enjoyed those. Some sort of beatbox song. I don't know what was the title. Yeah, but it was well, yeah, number 4. I liked it. I could hear that he had some influences, mostly French influences. It seemed to me. I didn't know about the symphony he worked with, but yeah, I could hear there was some international influences in his songs. Yes. To me, I don't know. To me, what I know is that if you wanted to have a cultural evening, then you can go to the Cairo Opera House, and yeah. So for me, as an expat or a tourist, it seems to be the place in Egypt to go for a cultural night. That's what I mostly know, and yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, especially the Gare de Lyon song with the, I think he whistled in it, and he also did some beatboxing. I thought it was really original and catchy also. Yeah. I'm actually visiting here with my boyfriend, and well, he saw that there was a concert and we wanted to do something spontaneous, so we decided to visit. I haven't heard of it before actually, but I can see it's a very inspiring place, and you can see there's a lot of people very passionately working on it, and yeah, I think it's really good, nice that it's here, and good for the culture of Cairo. Immersing myself in it, and it's also really interesting to hear. I heard there were also Russian ballet today, so I was impressed with, and also something with ice skating, right? Yeah, I was really impressed that that's, well, a lot of different things here.
drums were very developed in the early 2007, 2006. That was a transition where electronic music and a lot of other music combined with instruments and other genres. And nowadays you find a lot of new artistic fields. For instance, like today, we saw something very unique. It could go on an international level. And the instrument itself is very authentic, and you could do a lot of things with it. You could merge it with a lot of other activities, not only performance on a stage. Beatboxing is a very unique way of performing your emotions, but it's very aggressive sometimes. But the thing is, if you combine it with something more authentic, just like the flute, you might find something very interesting to hear. So concerning the drums and combining the combinations that they are doing is it's very difficult to do, and to have a mind like that is very interesting to actually talk to, because these kind of people reach places where and think about things that we never imagined we could do, because the way they perform, it's actually they're loving what they're doing actually. So you will find very emotional performance, and when you see that, it's very touching, but at the same time it's very unique. A domestic, right, if we're gonna compare between domestic and international, the domestic field, you can find hidden talent, and hidden talent always has a way of performing new things, and you could create new music. It doesn't have to be on the same level. It's all frequencies. So each country has its own level of frequency when it comes to genres. For instance, in Egypt, you'll find Sharqi music, you'll find Shabi music, you'll find Nubian music, you'll find a lot of different music, and it's all Egyptian. So if you try to combine that, you could find you could develop something very interesting to hear, and something new to make people see, because most of these people, they don't have that kind of talent. They just come here to hear. So when you find someone that expressive with his music, it's very intriguing actually.
Flute sounds soft and calm and maybe shrill and piercing, yet whether low, middle or high register, this instrument will definitely take you in an emotional journey. Shuruq Bikir, Cultural Magazine.
Egyptian heritage is an important and integral part of our identity here in Egypt. It represents who we are, and this is through the arts, music, and even our clothing. Let's go find out more about our heritage.
The Institute of Arab Music was opened in 1922 during the reign of King Fuad I and was called the Royal Institute of the Arab Music. It was one of the most important musical centers in Egypt for teaching Arabic music and preserving heritage. The building of the old Institute of the Arab Music is a historical heritage place belonging to the Egyptian Opera House, and the institute houses the museum of the musician Muhammad Abdul Wahab and his personal belongings. It has a museum of ancient musical instruments that are distinguished by their beauty and ingenuity of design. The Cairo Opera House organized a concert for the Arab Music Ensemble led by Maestro Dr. Mohammed Al-Mugi on the stage of the Arab Music Institute. Mahmoud Arafa, Director General of the Institute, says the band presented a bouquet of the finest songs of the time of the beautiful art of the giants of singing, Kulthum, Muhammad Abdul Wahab, Muhammad Fawzi, Layla Murad, Karim Mahmoud, Muharram Fuad, Nagat and Warda, performed by Arab music stars at the Opera House. In addition to Al Turath Band, Ahmed Sabri, Atif Abdel Hamid, Ahmed Mohsen, Angham Mustafa, Hanan Hissam and Radwa Saeed, and the songs are ردي عليا, تعب الهوى, أنا بستناك, روحي وروحك, أغار من قلبي, أنساك, يا دنيا يا غرامي, همسة حائرة, من بعيد يا حبيبي أسلم, يا شغلني وأنا شغلك. The National Ensemble for Arab Music is an Egyptian orchestra to revive the masterpieces of music and heritage. Founded in 1989 by Dr. Ratib Al-Hifni, Maestro Selim Sahab has led the troupe until now in the Egyptian Opera House. The troupe succeeded for 3 decades in drawing the attention and hearing of the masses for the original artistic values in the Arab music.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more on Nile TV.